fight could really be a major fight that a lot of people are looking to see. When did you know that?
When the people start talking, and obviously everybody around try to make this fight. I say, look, needs to be big.
This fight doesn't happen if you're never born, right? You made this fight happen. Why this fight?
Not me, it is who behind me.
I like Crawford, get right to it.
Why?
Because he's like the first time you went from regular TV, which you've been doing a long time, to 3D. He's different. Really, that's the simplest way I can say it.
They claimed that a battle started long before the bell rang in the mornings when the city was still half asleep and two men decided to subject their bodies to the minor, unrelenting agonies that became legends individually. Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez were deeply involved in such rites throughout that camp. Every squad has its own universe.
Fight. You know, I take this fight because you can see how big is this fight, no? The beginning when they say, hey, you thinking about fight Crawford, I say, never thinking about that. But you can realize how big is this fight, no? Mexican, always Mexican versus USA is big. And two of the best pound for pound. And I think this fight is huge and means a lot for me.
When did you realize, when did the moment hit you that this fight can really, really be big? This fight can really be a major fight that a lot of people are looking to see. When did you know that?
When the people start talking, and obviously everybody around try to make this fight. I say, look, needs to be big, right? Because Netflix, Riyadh season, everybody interested in this fight. So that's when I realized how big is this fight.
Crawford felt like initially you needed some convincing because you thought it was a lose-lose proposition, whereas you're fighting the smaller guy, and if you won, you wouldn't really get any credit for it. Was that what you were thinking?
Yeah, but if you think well, I've been in that position.
Moving up in weight to face Canelo at super middle, Crawford's training had appeared to be a concentrated metamorphosis. He carefully rebuilt his body with a gain that went beyond simply gaining muscle to maintain the deft speed and accuracy that had kept him undefeated. His trainers made dietary and strength adjustments, so those extra pounds read his power instead of balancing it. His fitness was designed to maintain the fluidity that allowed him to choose shots and blend in, and he sparred with larger men.
My country, I'm my boss, you know? But really, if you look at as a business, this fight will not happen if we are not involved as Gia, Riyadh season, Saudi Arabia. This is truth. Because even with what the relationship with Netflix, and we are very happy about it, still this fight costs more and more.
Speaking of cost more and more, for everyone who watches it, everyone already has a Netflix account. So they're not paying anything extra for it.
Yeah.
You, however, are the guy who just paid hundreds of millions of dollars for a pay-per-view fight that you wanted to see. So people like to get their money's worth. What do you want to see from this fight?
First, not what I want to see, what all the people around the world, and you are fans of boxing, want to see. It's taken too long, but thanks God, without the support behind me from my government, my leaders, the Crown Prince and the vision, and without the love of the fans, we will stop, not complete. This is what push us. This kind of fight, special Canelo Crawford, I want to explain it to you exactly why it is important and the fight of the century. Canelo is the biggest name in boxing now, and Crawford undefeated and have the chance to be undisputed for the third time. Maybe this is the last fight for Crawford, and for Canelo, it's mean a lot for his fan in North America and South America and all the world. He doesn't want to get beating from guy getting up 2 or 3 ways.
He interspersed technical drilling with times that reminded everyone that, despite weighing 168 pounds, he was still an outstanding athlete. He also booted a soccer ball to keep his feet nimble and his vision keen. Teasers were released by both sides, and the story unfolded naturally. The veteran championship frame versus the small, ring-trained shooter. However, beneath the publicity and the footage, both fighters' daily routines were startlingly identical. The straightforward plot was muddied by size and history. Canelo contributed weight, experience winning championships, and the air of a man who had seen it all. Crawford contributed an unblemished record, a high ring IQ, and the courage to pursue a daring triumph that would solidify his place among the greats. On fight night, the weigh-in reports and the videos wouldn't be what was important. It would be the preparation that became moments, the snap judgments, the iron lungs, and the bravery to give and accept. And despite all the anticipation, a fight was actually won there.
Back in the day, I used Betamax, and then that was good. It was cool. VHS, VCR, all that stuff. I still got them, actually. And all of a sudden, digital came around.
There you go.
He's digital, really. And I'm not knocking Canelo for all the people out there that, you know, want to pull their arrows now and start slinging shots at me. Hey, that's okay. That's fine. But I'm not knocking him. He's a good, solid guy. He's
Good,
tremendous.
solid guy. He's 63-2, Teddy, and has never been knocked out. And this guy
Wait,
that's
what's
fighting him
his
is
record?
moving up.
What's-
63-2.
Wait, what's his record?
63-2.
By who's accounting?
What do you mean by who's account? What are you trying to say?
What am I trying to say? There's a couple fights there that you might be able to argue there. Just a little bit.
Okay.
Starting with Triple G. Just a little bit. A little bit, you know? I mean, you're insulting him a little bit. You know, like in a movie with De Niro.
I'm not insulting him. I'm pointing out the facts. But here's my point to you, Teddy. He's 63-2.
Lara, how about the Lara fight?
Hold on.
You want to go back further?
Okay. What about Madrimov with Crawford? I'm just saying.
No, he beat Madrimov. He didn't look the way we want him to look.
Okay.
We are stepping up for the first time to that weight class. He didn't look the way that we wanted to say, oh my God.
Well, stay with me. Let me ask you this
And
question.
Madrimov was not getting the credit for the kind of fighter that he was.
But let me ask you a question, Teddy Atlas. He didn't look the way you wanted him to look, moving up from 147 to 154. Now he's going from 154 to two weight classes to 168 against a guy who's 11-0 at the 168-pound limit and is entering his 12th fight undefeated and has never been knocked out.
Yeah, VHS digital. Did you worry about that jump when you went from VHS to digital? No, you just said we're at digital now, and it looks good. It looks really good, and you look great. No, you do.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You look tremendous.
But I'm just saying, listen, I believe in Crawford too, and I believe that Crawford is one of the top two fighters on the planet. But he is moving up two weight classes, and when people look at him going up against Canelo, here's what they're saying. He's got to keep his distance. He's got to hit, stick, and move. He can't stay in front of him.
Garcia, who previously thought Canelo would win, now seems to be shifting his position or realizing that Canelo has a much more difficult task ahead of him than he initially predicted. Canelo's intensity is my issue with him. According to a report by Dayon Boxing, Garcia stated, I think that's going to be the biggest issue for me because he doesn't have the same intensity that he used to have. Garcia went on, is he still able to counterpunch? Indeed. Is he still able to be cunning? Indeed. However, does he still possess the same level of vigor and intensity as when he was younger or even during his battle with Caleb Plant? Sincerely, I wonder if he will be able to make that second or third attempt.
I don't know, maybe 2 more.
2 more years.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to accomplish that you haven't yet
No,
accomplished?
I already accomplished everything.
So there's
and I did
nothing left.
everything in boxing. Yeah. So I'm fine.
When this is all over for you, maybe in 2 years from now, what do you want to be remembered for?
One of the greatest fighters in the boxing history. That's why I'm here. That's why I start boxing. So I'm doing good.
I think you've already accomplished that.
Considering that Canelo's issue is that Canelo ended up making strange defensive actions that put him out of position after Bivol delivered him 3 more bullets and 3 more movements. That concludes today's video. Please remember to hit the bell button, subscribe, and give a like if you liked it so you don't miss any of our next videos. Additionally, remember to leave a comment with your ideas. Keep checking back, and we'll see you at the next. Conversely, Canelo's camp seemed to be a masterclass in controlled energy. In addition to performing the obvious tasks, pads, mitts, and rounds on the bag, he also incorporated unorthodox drills that were indicative of a career of honed instincts. They claimed that a battle started long before the bell rang in the mornings when the city was still half asleep and 2 men decided to subject their bodies to the minor, unrelenting agonies that became legends individually. Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez were deeply involved in such rites throughout that camp. Every squad has its own universe.
The interview we went even deeper on it.
He did. Look, Canelo's achievements that speak for themselves. You see, he's been around a long, long time, 20 years as a pro, and he's beat some of the best fighters out there for sure. I think that Paulie there is referring to him avoiding Benavidez, the fight that everyone's wanted to see and wanted to make. He's been picking and choosing his own opponents, and yeah, he has had some easy options. And he gets an opportunity to go in against Terence Crawford, or Terence Crawford gets the opportunity to go against him. Look, whatever way you want to look at it, I think that you cannot deny how good Canelo has been. He has adapted. He's had to adjust. He now, you know, he stalks forward. He hunts his prey, but he single shots to the body, single shots to the head, and that's why I think timing for Terence Crawford here could be
Duke, me and Spencer have got Terence Crawford. How do you think this fight is won and lost?
Yeah, I think this fight is won for Crawford by sticking to his boxing, which he does beautifully. From the outset, I thought Crawford would win this fight, simply because
you're in our game.
He's a great boxer, right? He switches from left to right effortlessly. He's a good stayer. He's got that spite that you need as a champion. What he's done has been done before, albeit, you know, many moons ago with Sugar Ray Leonard, when he moved up and boxed Donnie Lalonde from welterweight to super middleweight, but he stopped in between that and boxed Marvelous Marvin Hagler. So that's probably a harder route even still, but I feel that it's a stone difference. It's not really that much, not when you look at the bigger picture. A stone in weight is a lot of weight, of course it is. And you know, sometimes you don't even want to give away a pound in weight, but the fact that he's putting on a stone of pure muscle.
He interspersed technical drilling with times that reminded everyone that, despite weighing 168 pounds, he was still an outstanding athlete. He also booted a soccer ball to keep his feet nimble and his vision keen. Teasers were released by both sides, and the story unfolded naturally. The veteran championship frame versus the small, ring-trained shooter. However, beneath the publicity and the footage, both fighters' daily routines were startlingly identical. The straightforward plot was muddied by size and history. Canelo contributed weight, experience winning championships, and the air of a man who had seen it all. Crawford contributed an unblemished record.
All I care about as the promoter of this event is that it's a good fight. Over 65,000 people are coming in for this fight live. Who knows how many are going to tune in around the world on Netflix, but what I want is when it's over, everybody turns off the TV or walks out of the arena and goes, I'm so glad I came to this fight.
That was a war.
I mean, I could sit here for an hour and break down the fight, you know, both ways for both guys. But what I truly believe is, because Crawford's moving up in weight and you know, this legacy thing is so important to him, he's going to come at Canelo. And you know how Canelo is a counterpuncher and hits hard, and I think it's going to be a war.
A high ring IQ and the courage to pursue a daring triumph that would solidify his place among the greats. On fight night, the weigh-in reports and the videos wouldn't be what was important. It would be the preparation that became moments, the snap judgments, the iron lungs, and the bravery to give and accept. And despite all the anticipation, a fight was actually won there. Prior to the bout, boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. made a daring prediction. Bud was getting up a lot, even though there had been a lot of discussion about the weight differential. Jones Jr. said Crawford's increased muscle mass shouldn't have a significant impact on the fight. Terence has been putting on muscle, much like I did when I was a heavyweight, he remarked. You can defeat super middleweights and light heavyweights in combat if he can handle them in training. Even the weight shouldn't be a problem. Jones Jr. acknowledged in an interview with The Ring that if there was money involved, considering that the American boxer had a lot more possibilities to win than the Mexican superstar, he would have to wager on Crawford. Canelo does have a chance.
Now legendary sparring session with Boots Ennis and Saul Canelo Alvarez, all right? In looking at the footage we have, you know, they show their feet. They don't really show much, and that's good, right? Whatever happens in sparring stays in sparring. You don't want too much revealed. But I think, you know, you can pull something from the footage. Like, post-sparring session, you can just see how friendly Saul Canelo Alvarez and Boots Ennis are.
Yeah, oh, thank you. That's pretty good. Almost there. Yeah, almost there, almost time. Yeah.
It's mutual respect. You can just see, you know, and it just feels like Boots gave Canelo some good work. I think if Boots didn't, I think Canelo wouldn't respect him as much. I think Canelo would be like, get out of here. I mean, they couldn't even leave the gym. They kept saying bye to each other over and over and over again like it was a bromance.
You got my piece. Who say he needs some rounds? Huh? Who? Yeah, so you'll come back and do some work. Oh, yeah? You don't want... I'll see you tomorrow.
And more, if they are scared, they run faster. If they are scared, more faster.
Bro, You know what that is. You know what that is. It's like if somebody whipped your ass and like, all right, then, boy, what? Wait.
Garcia, who previously thought Canelo would win, now seems to be shifting his position or realizing that Canelo has a much more difficult task ahead of him than he initially predicted. Canelo's intensity is my issue with him. According to a report by Dayon Boxing, Garcia stated, "I think that's going to be the biggest issue for me because he doesn't have the same intensity that he used to have." Garcia went on, "Is he still able to counterpunch? Indeed. Is he still able to be cunning? Indeed. However, does he still possess the same level of vigor and
My best, and I'm gonna try my best to put a great show.
Tell you what I think is best for each fighter, and I think, you know, if I was able to give my advice to Terence, it would be, I think that he should box on the outside.
Canelo ended up making strange defensive actions that put him out of position after Bivol delivered him 3 more bullets and 3 more movements. That concludes today's video. Please remember to hit the bell button, subscribe, and give a like if you liked it so you don't miss any of our next videos. Additionally, remember to leave a comment with your ideas. Keep checking back, and we'll see you at the next.